to one side or the other. I just want to see some damn good MLBB. Speaking of which, let's bring out our teams. First up, it's none other than Onic! Their fans are worldwide as they are greeted to the stage. MSC 23 champions, semifinalists last year at MSC 25. One of the names most synonymous with MLBB, now walking the razor's edge between qualification and elimination. A narrow loss to Aurora put them in the lower bracket. Their tournament run hinges on beating yet another fan favorite.
Yes, indeed, Milosh. And of course, their opponents, the strongest in Malaysia, the Giants. It is Selangor Red Giants.
Selangor Red Giants.
Starting off as a fan favorite and now entering their do or die match. Will the 2024 champions be able to defy the odds and do what they need to do to stay in the game? Do they have what it takes to head to the knockout stages?
In this assassin meta, there's a lot on the line and a lot to do in the game itself. Speaking of our matchup, I think we should get them started.
A lot of possibilities. One continues their journey and one's ended here today. Boys, you may place your keys and take your seats. And of course, to our captain, you may meet in the middle for a handshake, a fist bump, completely.
Let's go!
Oh my goodness. Milosh, this is gonna be one hell of a match. I am ready, so you all better get in your seats, grab your snacks, grab a friend, because it's time to head to the land of dawn.
Let's go, SRG pa Onic!
Grab a friend indeed. You might need a buddy here. You know, they
Onic.
Or even younger, you have to walk in pairs.
I was usually alone.
You didn't have a buddy system? Oh man, I'll be your buddy.
Aw. Too late for that though.
Am I 30 years too late?
Yeah, 30 years too late, but
It's
hey,
okay.
it's never too late for new friends.
Let's go, Onic.
I got you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. What's happening here?
we had a busy top of show, but guys, I mean, expand a little bit more after we let everyone know my champions pick is available. You can
Let's
pick your
go,
dual champions and
Onic.
win 50,000 diamonds. The event sadly ends on July 27th. So you can go ahead and scan that QR code on your phone or your tablet. Make sure to get involved.
I'm telling you, Rain Day, people have already lost so many predictions at this point.
Onic.
I think two regions who are obviously going to lean into their own regional biases into the individual teams. It's going to be an entire part of the world just cut off just like that.
Yeah, in game I lost. I don't know how
not
much
his
amount
lesson,
of guest
man.
coins today. I was overly confident looking at the favored
Man,
odds that we had with
not
our
him.
guest coin game within
Like Pidong alone.
MLBB itself. But hey, here we are. You know what? There's something in my head. These two have a very important choice, and I said it that way, Cho, because it's Yums, it's Kiboy. Kiboy is undefeated with the Cho this MSC so far. He's led to some high-profile wins. One of them against Aurora yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday. Yesterday. And we know Yums, great Cho player.
And that's the thing. I think that, like, there's so many similarities between these teams that it's really tough to say who's going to come out on top. So winning your lane may not necessarily be just about the draft when you have players of this caliber. We've already have the gold standard in Kelra and Innocent, who, again, have been compared time and time. I just don't know who's going to win the matchup, because the last couple of times we looked at those lanes, I think the current score is 2-2.
It is. It actually is. It makes it even tougher again for the choices in the gold lane. I mean, Rain Day even brought it up earlier. Fighter, marksman, what version are we going to get? Obviously, Freya is going to be contested between these two, but if you overcommit too much on dive, wait a minute, that's Uni. That is Uni.
It looks like they got the super sub here this time around, part of the lineup instead of Sakai. To take him on. I think maybe this is a show of confidence. Maybe this is one of those like, hey, we need to make sure that every single one of our players are going to do good. If we can alleviate that pressure like we mentioned before, then Cram doesn't have to be so in his head about the shot calls.
The issue here for many people who are happy, elated, surprised, excited to see Uni on the team of SRG is what happens if they lose game one. Does that put Sakai's in an awkward situation where kind of momentum, trust has already been lost there, and maybe on himself, maybe from his teammates not making that first cut? Does Uni just go 2-0 and then they risk losing? These are the things we'll be following along with. But a major, major choice there. SRG do stick with their sub as we go into Expanding River. And we're going to bring up another little thing about Uni in a moment as well, because he is the talk of the town, guys. He is really the one that we've been highlighting before. And for SRG, it could be the difference. We've seen it be the difference.
I believe it should be the difference at this stage. And I think that at least with Uni being, you know, everybody has been raving about him in comparison to this guy's the second best jungler within Malaysia. I think this time around, now that he's on the international stage, he's got to show everybody he's more than just a second. He's looking to be maybe the best jungler in the world.
Yeah, some unique drafting choices here for Onic. They ban out the Selena right away. I mean, we've seen some very important Selenas getting picked up in the first phase red side as a response to even all of these really mobile assassins, but we've seen it because of all the vision that it provides, the momentum stopping that it provides as well for teams that really want to go fast. And Onic said, we don't want our tempo to be stopped. We love to play fast. We love that up-tempo play style, and you're not going to be able to stop us from doing that.
They like to scramble. They like to get into the scrum in rugby terms, right? They're all just going to try and contest for the ball, which in this case is tempo. And I totally agree with you. If we look back at the two series that we've already seen here today, a lot of it is lack of information to make that correct decision. So here, I'm thinking about supports. I'm already thinking about people who can open up the map, because that's been a very big problem here at MSC. You try and open up the map and all of a sudden it's a 5v4.
All of these assassins just making it so much deadlier for roams and mids to go around. You really have to have someone who can face check real quick. And then even if you face check, even if your mid laner is one bush behind, you're just wondering, wait, oh, my mid laner's gone. Because I went ahead forward. It's such a difficult time for roam and mids, which is why, again, we go back to Kiboy and Sans with Stormy and Yumes, how they're going to handle positioning themselves in the river. Will Onic go back to some really old favorites? The surprise. We know when Stormy plays and SRG plays, they like to put him a little bit more in the side of the formation, a little bit more behind to really help support the gold laner. But how can you do that against a team that want to die you literally with a counter?
I think that we talked about this. Actually, we talked about this in the second segment yesterday about the big trades, about how you should be able to They banned it out, so only Beleric and Valentina are still available, but they also introduced the fact that we're also going to influence the assassins. Hirara is gone. SRG took a really big lesson yesterday after realizing that they can't just do the Ling Hirara trade without any punishment.
You got to get something and maybe something on the other side.
Beleric,
sacrifice arm to keep the and so maybe sacrificing some of the priority in the assassin matchup in order to get something else where you have the lead and play around. Two teams, two different styles, one more aggressive, one more disciplined, maybe macro-driven, and SRG. Onic want to play freely. They've got the first pick available. I mean, the Ling is available. You also do have the Eudora, which certain teams have prioritized.
I think that as of right now, I don't know about you, the Beleric openings and Eudora openings have been kind of weak. I do think Ling's not a bad idea, but that just immediately tells SRG, hey, we got to start looking for a strong EXP laner to control that side of the map.
Most likely, and then the EXP, maybe Red 3, they pick up either the Uranus or whichever is Onic still decide to open up with the Beleric. They're willing to give up the Ling unless they're trying to signal to SRG, go ahead, pick up the Ling, we're ready for it. It will make you think.
Right.
Again, we've seen that Beleric get swapped over to XP very rarely, although most likely we are already seeing the roam pick here for Onic. I wouldn't be that surprising too, because you still have some assassins on the board. Yeah, the Fanny's gone. If ever the Ling goes to SRG, you still have the Nolan that Kyrie plays very well.
I think this is a three-step process. Uni first. Pose the question to the opposite side. Do you want to show your mid lane? If you pick Valentina, then we can start choosing other mid laners that can attack your backline as well. Like maybe even Farsa. But this is under the assumption that that Ling is still part of the question. So we have three simultaneous equations going on. So algebra nerds go at it.
Great pick, usually on the ban list with Keto, which is a great pick as well, because it doesn't show as many of your cards. You mentioned the hesitancy and the struggle maybe between the gold laners here on the fighter meta. But Keto could be flexed to a gold laner. It's not a guarantee that he's not, even though it's most likely not the case for Mark. So what does this set up for now? The answer with our
I think you can go Barrett into EXP for Onic.
Even Esme.
Esme possible too if you want to look at the matchup, but
Uranus around.
Uranus. Uranus Barret. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Uranus
But
Barret.
con vô dùng nó vô link sân
compared to the Esme, even though Esme is the normal counter
Link
that
vô
you see
Golan
now up
on
against
nè.
the Paquito in lane,
Ôi,
and they do go for the Uranus, that constant disrupt. You still end up getting the link for Onic. I wonder if SRG are thinking about going back to Akai. No, it's gonna be too slow.
I think the only scary thing is whether or not they're going
Bởi
to
control objective Uni nó sao mà anh đi.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Với lại
Here
assassin
jungle,
này.
it's possible.
It is possible, but it's not one of my favorites here because again, it falls off. That's the big problem with
Cái trên bạc to mà bạn đây nè. Vô Fred vô utility cái đấy. Miễn là assassin này.
Paquito is great in the early to mid stages of the game, but if you don't find that snowball lead, then it becomes impossible to get past the Bellerican as well as the Uranus, which again, I think that Onic have taken into
Mà con vô trang gõ lấy vô
Question
Golan
is
muốn
also the underperformance of Ling. We saw some very high scale,
Mới Golan sao kìa.
skill stealing performances in our previous match. But with Uni,
Cái
there's already a
cà tì,
confidence
hai rất
conversation.
bà
He
bạ
feels like
lên,
he has
vô
it,
chua lỗ.
but you can't not
Chua
understand
bạn.
you're here in this moment, and do you want to play
Assassin
Ling?
chính mà tụi nó
And
assassin nào
also,
này
do
thích
you
áo
want
à.
to play Paquito? Because if you're saying he's not going to trust playing Paquito right away, coming in as he's going to want something a little more safer, then you kind of expect, okay, maybe that is the EXP lane, and we can understand the draft a little more.
Well, we might be able to get a tell from SRG if ever the
Bên gọt cháu này.
let's say
The bans?
they don't have to worry about the Esmeralda anymore, because I'm thinking that Harith
Ben
is still
got
gonna go
Chao
well
lo.
for them. Harith has done very well against lineups with the Ling.
Tag Ben gọt đấy. Onic anh thích Idra đấy, ghé nó xe đâu phơi phơi.
Against a Belleric, as long as you get away from the taunt and the Wrath of the Dryad is gone, Zaman Force gets dropped, and that
Ben
even
got
sets
Chao lo.
any
Ben
Ling
got của Chao.
back away from the fight. You get the tempo with the Cho to help scale it faster. You move the Paquito away from the gold, you put that in the EXP or
Vì
the
support
surprise
PA player
jungle.
trời.
I could see the vision in it. It could work
Idra.
out.
Yeah.
What are they forcing?
Gọt
me to do?
Idra
I
nó
mean,
bán này.
That's
Vừa
what
ra
I'm
bao
trying to figure
Idra
out. I
bán
see
này.
the
Rồi
Eudora
cái
ban
phơi
and
phơi
it's
cái
like,
anh
wait
này
a
assassin
minute,
trang gol.
if we're
Assassin cái
I
Alex
guess
Suyu
it
nào
could be
này.
a red herring. It could be saying like, you know, hey, Paquito may not go into the EXP, he might go into
Yeah.
the jungle, but just in case, we need to
Là thiên
show
sĩ
as if
nó
we are
thiên sĩ.
going to lock in another
Hai lên đâu mà nói
assassin.
bên đây lên
I mean, that would have been a good mid pick as well, because with the Belleric, you don't need the Valentina
Okay.
as much. And so maybe just saying, hey, we're going to limit your options. Now you're going to pick something that kind of
Mang
would have
diện
done a
lương.
better job
Một
for us in
ngày
this
ở đây
lineup.
này.
You're a little weaker as a result of that.
This might actually be a jungle Paquito, because if you look at the Cho and the
Moscow.
Juicer together, they're
Oh
not a combo.
my.
But if you put the jungle,
Moscow
if you
về
put the
stream
Paquito
man à.
in the jungle, then you get the
Thì mà là
combo.
ba
So,
SRG.
pick off and then burst it
À
down
bao
right
Moscow
away.
ai lên đó vậy đâu.
As much as
Moscow
you
đi
use
không
Cho as a means to just get that little crowd control, a lot of its value really comes from the fact that you could -1 someone right away.
But that's
Moscow.
on the assumption that you minus someone with a full damage build. And most of the time, and right now,
God
I
ban
think
is
they have
something.
lack of damage. They have no form of scaling. They have a
No
great
Moscow,
form
no
of
win
peel
SRG
pattern
man
to
đã.
catch,
Nó
but
mày.
if he's building like
Nó khớp vào, nó
Lorax
mày chứ,
nonsense
vô
like
lại.
that and not second into Malefic Roar, I don't know. I don't see it happening.
I mean, you look at a great gold laner there, and you see this team fight, you see the in and out and the pick-off potential from Ling. I mean, Onic are looking very strong, very traditional in some ways, but very hard to beat.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Mid lane bans on the side of SRG, and this is should be a
Valentina.
Melissa ban for the side of Onic,
Sao gọt
right?
lại ơi.
Melissa's not been played at all today. Banned,
Trong
I
vậy
think,
chân này
once.
ở này ngay
Maybe in our first
knockout
set,
stage á,
but
anh là miền voice party á.
surprisingly not seen very often getting. What do you
Miền
think
voice
that is?
party
'Cause
nào
it's not
nè.
a Melissa
Nó
ban
ông bị
either,
ở
just not
Cambodia
worried she's
Arena.
coming out.
I think because they have
Brody.
potential answers to it, they can maybe try and get the resources out of it in a different, seemingly a different way. Because keep in mind, if you do end up picking Melissa, I think
Bên
Sam's
cho
going to
gỗ
go
lên
for
soi
like
kìa.
the Farsa type
Gỗ lên là
nonsense.
sủa lên.
Exactly. With the Valentina
Crancher
band out,
bạn
you can
lên.
return to the E-Farsa. And if ever SRG
Clot
are
bạn
thinking
lên.
about going back to the
Clot
tanks,
với
if they
bạn
show
lên
it
một
now,
Belleric, bàn
tanks
tay
to
với
the
anh
jungle,
là lên
excuse
ban
me.
chứ này.
If they show that now, then it's an easy Eve or
Cái đấy
Farsa
đai clay
pickup
bên mẹ
for
Clot đấy mà này.
Onic. It's really up to you
Bởi
which
cái
one
đấy
you
đai
think
clay về.
will mesh better with the lineup. If it's the Melissa, Ixia, anything like that,
Melissa out
then the
the
lack
norm.
of dive maybe is what's going to hurt Onic. We did hear last time that the Melissa pickup from Yangon Galacticos was a mispick, and they didn't mean to pick up the
Harap.
Melissa, but it worked
Oh,
out
man,
well
that's
for
a
them.
Harap.
But we go back to a possibility that we posed very early in the draft, and it is still going to be the Harith for SRG. And yeah, it makes
Ranger
sense
với anh
with
lên ban
the
à,
Cho
khe
getting
ra.
picked up with how
Sao
with
gọt
them
cái
showing
Ranger
the
mà đây.
Paquito Jushin in the mid, it means that the Harith will be well
គាត់
supported.
Granger ឬក៏ Claude ក៏
Thinking
បាន
about
ដែរ Claude ក៏លេងបាន
is
ដែរ
there a possibility of Leomord
Then
here if
get the
Farsa
Granger.
shows? I think that as of
Granger
right now they
got-
don't mind artillery mages because they've already got a couple of answers right here. If it's Farsa for sure, they've got the Paquito to kind of disrupt that. They've also
Sorry,
got the
Aurora
Chill to
Cloud.
disrupt as well. Aurora, a
Sorry,
very
Aurora.
interesting option, very
Unique
good
pick
for
at all.
disengages as
Combo
well.
boy,
On top
Belleric.
of re-engaging with some strong AOE from the Belleric, that is a natural wombo combo.
Yeah, and that will make that Harith struggle really badly in team fights. Well, I mean, it just means that Innocent will have to really watch his timing even more.
Chẳng
I
có
like
số
this
du
mid. One of my most played heroes in my limited experience.
It is very good.
But I lean towards having a little fun bias there on Onic. The question is, do you like the Claude
Claude
still? Is that
chắc
enough?
xin.
Claude versus Harith. Harith has been performing really well today.
Hey, it's a
số du
classic.
chẳng lỡ
It's a classic matchup. Seems like we've gone back a little bit in terms of
Oh,
or
Assassin
we've
lỡ
limited a
hai
little
lên.
bit the craziness of the meta that
Assassin
we've seen
không.
so far. And they go
Trời,
for Hilda.
sao đây chẳng rồi
Interesting. Okay, so their entire
Bạn tao
lineup
chẳng
here
gọi
is
trời
gonna
mà
be
ra.
focusing like utilizing this Hilda to be able to kind of double up on certain
Hilda-
things. But it
Hilda
does mean that we
roll.
have
Ê.
confirmation that Uni is actually
Trời.
going into the jungle with
Hilda
this
roll.
Paquito.
Yeah.
And now the early game is
Trời
a lot
ơi.
harder because as much as Paquito is strong in that early game, with the added addition of armor shred from Hilda,
Ồ, chu
they
rôm.
could set up some
Hilda
potential
EP
gank
bắt đầu
angles.
chẳng gọi
Yeah, and real quick, besides the roam mid, I'm just looking how the Uranus and the Hilda will be handling the lane
Trời,
and
Hilda.
making their presence felt. Whoever has more presence will
vô
win
hiếp
for the
đạp
team.
đào dùn nữa
Well,
nồng
Paquito
băng vào đây.
jungle. What a spicy way to kick things off. The one time we've seen it, it's actually won here at MSC. And of course, when you look at this battle and that trophy in the middle, both of these teams have lifted it. It's the battle of champions, but only one can go
Onic.
through. It's SRG versus Onic for this third series of the day. And we've got
Let's
Mirko
go.
and Trex ready to call the action. Fellas?
Thank you so much, guys. We're jumping into the land of Dawn. My name's Trex, and this is Mirko. We're going to be doing the
Phô
live
rồi,
action
phô
on
cả
this game.
san
We got two
rồi.
Titans
Bập.
ahead of us, Mirko. It's Onic up against
Bật lên
SRG
nè.
in a tournament life match. Someone's going home. Someone's moving on to the knockout stage. Typical emblems, mostly all around. A little bit of tenacity, though, onto Stormy, just in case the defense for the possible aggression that could come
Cách
from
cool down
Kyrie and
mà
the
cái
rest of the
Hunter.
team. But the big surprise pick
Terra League
here,
Festival
and
block
also
này.
surprise sub that we got to see yesterday,
tall.
Uni. And he's already starting things off with the Paquito jungle.
tố, adaptive
What am I looking
penetration,
for here? I'm looking for
Hunter.
quick aggression, right? You have the Cho. You have something that wants to play quickly around the map. You have someone that's going to have a huge power spike on this Paquito around level 3, level 4. If
Kyrie
they can
was
make
a
some
uni rồi.
off-lane play and possibly get some decent ganks, maybe onto Kelra, maybe onto Loopy, maybe an invade onto Kyrie, that could be the win condition for SRG here.
Absolutely, man. I think that's exactly what they're going to try to play around. Cram already with the Master Assassin on the hill that goes from XP down
lùi
below
chặt
to try
phải.
to deny Kyrie a farm.
Anh không phải 4 mặt
They will
rồi
be
sẽ
able to
nghe
get a camp away from Kai. On the link with Uni. Walking up on the Paquito, taking the golem away. They'll still be able to get level 4 though, going up to the Lizard
Chẳng chẳng gọi
after
mà
the purple
khổ
buff.
cây đi
And killing spree as well on Uni here, right?
Yep.
So we're looking for big fights. We're looking for a lot of damage.
And it's just like, dude,
Cứ tao home ăn
I
hai
know
nó
we've
là gì
been
cứ tao
asking
xem
for
xong
this
mình
matchup, SRG Onic,
Dạ,
but
bà
to
rồi, SRG
see it in
anh
the
tao té ra
lower
nè.
bracket as an elimination match instead of like a knockout
SRG
stage
nó ai tay té ra
match,
SRG
it's just kind of sad. Just a tad bit sad.
Just a tad bit.
Dễ
Also
pi
a
năng
tad bit
SRG mà ô nó
exciting.
vẫn đáy phân cái
You
này
know, we have to say this is also, it's unprecedented, but a lot of damage on
Loopy,
Loopy up in the
từ
front
vì ăn
side.
bạc
Didn't even pop the consecration. He didn't
Bậy
expect
đại
that
ngộp
from
à.
the Master Assassin Cram.
Onic on là lúc
Pick up
pi
the
nữa
top of
rồi
the game for Glacier now on Cram. There's
อ๋อ
no
ตีบัตร
follow
กี่
up.
ศูนย์จริงบ้านเป็นบ้านโชว์ตะท้อ
Cram
เลย
able to
ออก
walk
บ้านโช
up
ว์ตะ
and
ท้อ
now
ตี
it's going to be
อ่า
Onyx
โชว์บล็อก
zone
เบอร์
away
ទៀត
from the neutral
ឈូ
objective.
ហៀវដាអើយ
Trying to go for the retry on his own purple buff. It's going to be free neutral objective again. Uni won't even retry it. They'll just be able to pick it up. And it's a slow game now as SRG take the lead.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see from
Ano,
SRG to make this
pinaka-Andre
composition
nga, EP.
work. Onic has to be able to work around that. It's going to be a little bit more time for them to get to that point to be able to fight, especially picking up the Aurora. Yes, it's going to do well against some of these frontline fighters. You have the crowd control, but it's not a fast-moving mid lane. It's not an insane playmaker. That's something you would normally see Sons on. It's a slower hero. You get a lot of value and utility out of it, but it's not going to make those quick rotations that SRG is going to be
cái đi
making.
lên rồi tri gì
Those quick rotations for SRG up top as well, really threatening Ludpi earlier. Getting the pickoff is already massive for them to get the neutral objective, but then the whole team staying up top after taking a turtle, trying to abuse the fact that Ludpi had already used the Purify was also quite big. Made him a bit low. Also pops to the Consecration for some reason up top there. Don't know if anyone really threatened him or it was just a mistap. But Ludpi will also be able to match this XP lead of Cram with an XP Crab take and a shove straight up.
Cram is playing this Hilda so aggressively, rotating around essentially the secondary tank, playing it almost like a roamer would the way he's playing on the opposite side of the river.
Mà chơi mà là cái ngọt cái đi bạn. Tao ngọt bà ơi, bị đánh ngọt.
Responded over, Sounds walking up as well, but now it's going to be Keyboy in the midst of it all. Caught, oh my god! Frigid Glacier comes around.
Ngọt bà sáng đi trôi.
With the G-Kuno and the flicker,
Đọc rồi.
Cram with the swings.
Ngọt tẩy, try vào kia vào rồi.
Triple kill.
Uni vay tẩy.
Onic.
This is huge
Hot
for
Bussy
Uni.
ទៀត
It's 4-0 right now. Add a
Đòi
purple
co
buff
bạn.
on top of that. And the thing about it is, it's 4-0 in kills, and every single one of those kills has gone to this Paquito.
Đòi
Let's
co
take a look
mà,
at the replay. It
mà
all
tao
started with
ngộp.
the big way of the dragon. And even though Keyboy tries to help out by popping that Wrath of Dryad, it's just not enough. The damage, this is what I was talking about. You hit that level 4, you hit that level 5. Early game spikes. We're only 4 minutes in, and that's the thing about the Paquito. No pun intended, it packs a punch, insane damage in the early game.
Thọ pi bật liệt
Packing
hệ
those
chiên bật.
gloves to be able to hit like that.
They're weighted gloves, man. They're weighted gloves.
Someone's got to check in, bro. Away the dragon. Technically, they got an MMA advantage right now. Cho and Paquito, bro. With the physical defense reduction of the Cho, together with the crazy damage early on, that burst of the Paquito, no wonder they've just been deleted from the map.
You got the two best fighters in the land of Dawn on one team. Why hasn't anyone thought of this before? SRG now with a decent lead. Can they convert it into something more? They're going to move on to the spot lane. If they can start taking towers this early on, it's going to be huge for them. Maybe get the lane swap in. Once they start taking some towers, Cram can get involved. Onic has to find a way to slow the pace. And Keyboy and Sans hanging out in these bushes, that's kind of what they're looking for. But Sans gets found out.
Yep. Oh, the Aurora is going to get completely taken out by Cram now as Ludpi gets away just a bit from that Lantern Flare. Almost fully stacked up. Keyboy waited in the bush for a bit too long, now gets thrown back.
Mà chơi
with the
tiếp ngọt
dragon
bắt bị
into
đánh. Trời bị đánh ngọt ơi.
Oh, this combo
Mày phải
is
tranh
just
lại ta lover
deadly.
or eliminated không?
Sadly, I gotta
Tranh thiệt.
say, wait a second,
Eliminated.
we're action at the purple buff.
Retry from Kai, the 4 blades as well, but SRG got away just in time.
Có
Innocent as
Kera
well,
bạn
a
lênទៀត.
level ahead of Kelra.
Kera lung lên
Also
ទៀត.
only forced to
Thôn
play
bắt
the scaling game.
I want to go back to where Sans got picked off just now. And if
Kera
those
lung
two,
lênទៀត.
Keyboy and Sans would have been in a
Luôn ập
slightly
ba ra.
different bush, more on their side of the river, to where Keyboy was in the mid bush, Sans in the bottom, everything would have been better. But instead they take the aggressive route and advance to SRG's side of the river. Even though they're behind, even though they're not in a position to be in that type of position on the map, and Onic has to know what they're dealing with. It's 6-0. They cannot be the aggressive ones, not only in fights, but in positions on the map.
Wait, the dragon.
Đây.
It's Uni walking up. Oh, he walks
Keyboy
away
bạn.
from the Wrath of the Dryad. Leaves him for the rest of the team. Just
Thôi
in
bờ
case
SRG
Onic
lên smooth trắng anh phải ôn bị xấu này.
capitalize on the Wrath of the Dryad. And this is
Onic
where the
play
question
à?
starts to come up. Oh, Kyrie missed the Defiant Blade on the wall. A bit of panic there. Cram got close. But the question again, Trex, and to everybody here, usually the Aurora is picked up with a combo, a Kaja, a Cho, someone with single target lockdown, and this time it's with a Belleric. Just feels a bit off.
Yeah, Belleric has to kind of search for it, and that means Sans has to
Ơi,
constantly
mang po.
be there. And a big
Sang rồi.
Sanso has a passive there. Frigid Glacier popped in as well. Cram's going to be
Ngọt
frozen
đá nào,
out.
Uni mặt bị đánh ngon rồi.
Perfectly timed
tới.
knockdown. Get Uni in the back. It's going to be Innocent with the pickup as well as Ludpi.
Tới.
Is going to be strapped down to the ground. Another pickup for Innocent, a double.
Đòi cô
It's 10
hơi.
to 1.
Sang zone bay. Keyboy
This
zone
is
buôn lung bắt
uncalled for at
đây.
this point.
Lụt pi zone pi ngọt ba.
The subbed in jungler.
Cái đi à, Kera phẳng carry đó.
5-0 in 4.
Bây
This
giờ
is
ngọt
his
sắp.
second game in MSC.
Đòi có này.
And he is dominating the playing field. It's a mindset, right?
Mình cho prap cho con tha bài không rô tam kê flick mưa lại.
Where's this guy got locked in for the items right now? Where's Uni at?
I have no idea
Start off
where
with
he's
the Hunter
at.
Strike,
Live
typical
from
like
Paris.
that. Are we all
surprised he doesn't have
Are we
Sky
into
Piercer?
third item at this point?
Dude. This guy has to be worried. Uni's doing so good. Kyrie gets the orange with the red tree still. Holy moly, 5-0-4.
All right, so SRG have now converted this huge gold lead into multiple towers. Mid-tier 3 gone, top side all gone. And the way that SRG is moving amongst the map, they are just slowly compressing Onic into their base. They've taken buffs. It is a tough game for Onic. How do they even find a way out? And you said it. All they really have is Keyboy for the big engager. And for him to really get a surprise engage off, it has to be a flicker. Even Loopy, this far behind, with the amount of damage that SRG has, he can't harass the way you want to on a Uranus. And in the past, Uranus could still do it at maybe 0 and 2, could still do it at a 6K gold deficit, but we've been seeing how much trouble Uranus has been having in the meta currently when you fall behind like this. So it's going to be a while, if ever, that Onic can really come online and re-engage these fights. They're going to have to let SRG come to them and look for the counter attack.
Kai can only just retrieve the purple buff. That means it's going to be free neutral objective unless Onic get a pick up, but it's going to be SRG with the move. Sounds of the flicker out already. Tiku know the flicker in the way, the dragon straight up with the Stormy Sky Piercer. Big Purify coming down now as Kelrock is able to get the Blazing Duet down into the back line as well.
Blazing Duet, trời Khaira vậy
With those plays picked up now, it's SRG. Are still able to get a 2-for-2 trade. Very well done by Onic, though. We fail to talk about Kelra. He's 2-0-1 right now. He's been waiting for his time to shine. Just saw the damage come out. Innocent does lock in Holy Crystal. It's going to be more damage from him as well. Let's take a quick look at the replay. I want to keep our eyes on Kelra because he knows he has to move down. Keyboy comes in a little bit late to pop that Wrath of Dryad, and right when it pops, Kelra BMIs forward, uses the Blazing Duet on the backside, and outputs the damage, matched up by Kyrie's blades, and then able to just get away. Uni doesn't go down, no, they're not able to get the big shutdown on him, but still, they're able to kind of slow down SRG a little bit.
Very
dicey, but he was able to get those stacks back up.
So that
it doesn't die to Kelra on the Blazing Duet. But Yums, he's got one number in his eyes. It's just Sans, dude, every time. Walks up, sees Sans, especially when he flickers, boom, Yums is on him.
All right, Onic, they do have some ability to defend here, right? For the purple buff. It's going to be helpful in this next big push as Kelra moves forward. And SRG, I think at this point, take these tier 2s. If you get any, they could try to force things open.
Uranus taking that much damage. Holy shield procs in the end, and the charge still comes through. SRG now looking to get 2. Holy shields down before the 12th minute of the game. Innocent popping that damage again. The synchro fission doing work.
It's a scary bottleneck to come into against Onic right now, even with the gold advantage.
Cái đi chinh bia thêm rồi đó. Ô Khaira bây thêm nhỏ này lôi smile mà cái đi món là Khaira. Bao chinh bao khi gỗ lên đấy không nhiều. Từng gỗ từng sang gỗ. Ta Uni lôi chó na 4 pon bay rồi. Gỗ lên cái 4 pon bay rồi đây. Thế gỗ lên hơn 100 gỗ cái lôi smile này.
Any of those big AoE skills, the possibility is there for a quick table flip, a quick turnaround.
Stormy một mối chết buồn. Lên bao khi gỗ nào hết.
They can't brute force Onyx base open right now. 60 seconds for Lord, they just free flames.
Solid for SRG. No real reason for them to push the tempo anymore. No real reason for them to take risks. They have the lead. They can take a beating as well, and he can get away from it. It's all good. Divine Glaive for Sans, though, and it's only his second item.
4.8 gold.
That's painful. Kelra able to spot.
4.8k
mà
gold.
chúng mà khối rồi, máu rồi, viên máu à Khaira ơi. Ai lại đang rồi. Mà trường, này. Khaira tính nha. Xinh. Khaira bạn. Nó chưa phải hơn cái tua thôi không. Stormy cho một chỗ đó mấy cái Sky rồi, Sky ngọc. Okay, all in Lord. Cái đi trong làm phong. Mà Cram ló thế này mà Cram một. Cái đi tranh mai bắt đầu pom thế rồi.
0-5, and with Kelra finally down, this is going to give the advantage to Innocent in a lot of these fights. We saw the gold lead earlier. We saw how much damage he can output as well. So if Uni does start to fall off, that's going to be their next saving grace. A beautiful engage. Stormy tries to stop it. He almost saves Kelra. He almost stops the big advance, but Kelra still gets caught off.
And this is the right side of that double-edged sword for Stormy. So many times in this tournament, he's going in, you know, even flickering forward, Crimson beaconing forward, and it just looks awkward. But that's where you find, you know, the benefits of having this crazy aggressive style on your mid lane on Stormy. When it works amazing. That shot into Kelra. This is such a good turn to take as well, man.
Mà chơi qua Lupi ngọt tiền này.
Lock him down just for a bit as Yums is able to flicker out of it. Frozen Innocent, no Purify burnt out. Lord going to be dealt with as well. And SRG are happy with just the base turn on the far lane.
Onic đâu EP.
Cái thả Lupi lõ đừng này. Lupi không khơi lõ lại nè, nhưng mà on mà.
Faster and faster as this moves
Lẹ lại rồi.
Kyrie also, even though it's an assassin jungle, it's gonna start scaling eventually. SRG has to be careful about how long they want to let this game last.
I think at this point, SRG, they should be still very, very comfortable. Yes, Onic have that scaling, but as long as SRG play around these side lanes, utilizing that advantage, there's not much Onic can do, right? Because with this kind of composition, SRG can actually still blitz around the Lord. Now, once we get into Evolve Lord territory, that's where it will get kind of dicey for SRG, because
SRG
I don't think they will have enough firepower to burst the Evolve Lord.
Các bạn chưa lối tránh cái chỗ này, đọc thê lời.
All right, so basically, Onic just needs to survive this next one, right? Survive this next push. We get into Evolved Lord territory. Take a look at items.
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. I mean, they have 2 inhibitors left. They have 2 inhibitors left. It's going to push down the top. I'm just saying it is possible.
It is.
Kyrie, Kelra, Lupi, all of them have been playing a good game. Anyone else in SRG might have tried to finish this a little bit earlier. Anyone else with a 10k gold lead, they might have tried to shove things in. I'm wondering almost, is it too much respect? Are they playing too passive here? Kelra now also looking at almost getting maxed out on items.
Trong cả vai Kyrie là hiện tại lên khó là thun.
To catch up, Keyboy to catch up, so that you actually have a bit of a front line to survive the damage that Uni, Innocent, and Stormy are bringing.
For sure. I think the biggest gap right now has to be between the frontliners, man, because the damage is mentioned as well. They're on the way to their full items, right?
Mình cũng có bay còng xía mình ơi chứ. Tới rồi Dũng ạ.
Hold on, Lutpi takes a big beating. Doesn't use the Purify though. This is a pure 50-50.
Lọt cao đó nổ cái pressure minion này lỡ minion pivéo không?
And Innocent, I believe.
Cái đi bên bờ xiên này.
Able to get his hands on it, and without a purple buff, this will just be another free neutral objective.
Chứ nó chắc phải bị vô cái đánh chơi lo chứ. Lo thế này vậy mà.
Safe game because they know as long as they're able to build these small wins, get those neutral objectives, and then transition them into structures, in the end, it's going to be very, very difficult.
He saved his retry. I'm wondering if the reason why is because Kyrie wants to try to go for the steal here. They want to debate out the retry so that he wouldn't have it to try to contest. Onic is keeping a close play. Look at you
right now. Măng, tôi đã sang rồi. Blessing the way from Kera. Đâu chạy cọ. Ngọc Kera bạt. Kera. Tí ra Uni.
This is huge for Onic right now. Kyrie. And this is what they hold on to it. Yes, we don't get the purple, but as long as we can dry, as long as we can hold things out a little bit. SRG's okay with playing it slow. SRG's okay with chilling it out. The engage comes in. Kelra gets a good chunk of damage, and Keyboy plus Kyrie on the bot side freeze Innocent, stop him, and Kyrie's able to get the kill. And in that moment, SRG knows they have to back off. They don't want to play the long fight.
You gotta give props to Onic, man. They layered their skills very well. The Wrath of the Dryad baited out the Purify. Then we saw the Frigid Glacier. Not the stun, but just the damage. Right as Kyrie jumped off the Finch Poise with his own Defiant Blade to burst Innocent down. So now Innocent...
Nhưng mà đón theo lỗi của rốt lắm tay mấy của rốt ra của Team Spirit của Team Spirit đấy gọi lấy gọi sai khăn mà này tay à Aurora tụi kia khăn trôi à lợi.
Who would have thunk? Another pick that's, you know, another crazy layer to the meta right now. Something that at first you see it, you doubt it, and SRG is making it work very well right now. But They are having some trouble closing this out. They're finding great position. Yums always in a side bush. Cram always looking for an angle as well. Onic has to watch out for it.
SRG are going to go for the commitment here. They see the Ling. It's insta commit. No way for Onic to
cái pha
respond
lo
to
bắt đấy
this.
khơi mà cái đi tranh clear lên này nè mau to nó đấy
Could be caught again. It's gonna be
mà
the
cam
top
trăm
lane.
cạo
Who's right there? Uni with the red team.
ơi
Keeps it clean.
sang tư rồi
Place down as the passive. Gonna be proc to the sky.
Innocent
Pull.
pull
Picks up the blade. Picks it up. Way to try to appeal again. It's not
pull
over and over again. It's crowd.
bay vinh rồi
Waiting for a position. Signs for
khó mà Cram ngồi
SRG. Got the neutral objective. Kai with the chase now onto Cram. No flicker available. Kelra wants
mà
to
cái
go
boy
cuts him off.
จะthua nó nữa thua khó thế nào
No, he doesn't.
đỏ cò
Doesn't
cái
land a
boy
ton either. It's not the evolved lord yet, so Onic
thua khó thế
he'll
đó
get the win with a mid
ngồi
and a goal traded. But if SRG can stop these three members from recalling, it's going to be massive.
The pincers here.
Chơi.
Uni comes in. It's going to be bad.
Kara tôi Kara
Kyrie able to get the fine play to Cram.
ơi lọt vạch đẹp ơi
Wave up top and the Lord is going to come crashing down, but the mini wave's actually going to spawn in time. Look be there. Kyrie with a tempest of blades gets him out. Look pay against 3 on this Uranus.
All he's got to do is keep him away from the base as Onic tries to clear this Lord.
mình tục sân mình thơ trắng cái clear lọt
The Lord and the minions almost won SRG.
mình thơ trắng này mẹ đầu trắng này
Look, he falls in the end. No consecration, and now it's innocent back up.
giờ lên ban với này cái đi Onic lên ban với lôi lao với
With a Hail Mary play there, and SRG responding so cleanly, but it's not over yet. SRG still at the door. They're waiting for another wave to come down.
Oh no.
trời ai Uni chua trúng Kara chơi cọ đấy nó chơi cọ vinh rồi mà đánh ngộp trời mà cái đi chơi vậy Innocent này vào nó vinh sao đảo vô lôi cho nó tét to nó no một phay tôn 4 lịch cho đọc khen là sao PK no
This really should have been a knockout
một ôn này
stage
trốn
game. But we find ourselves right here, right now, seeing it.
Every time you think it's going one team's way, something else happened.
Tình
Uni
cọ
with
toàn
the
tía ra ơi
immortality, then takes the shower
nè
shot
với mấy
by
vô
picking up
Innocent
the
này
winner
do
crown,
Innocent nó
gets
chỉ
the
đánh mà
kill
thôi
for
mà vô khỏi do
Kyrie.
Uni sập đầu vô
Pulls up
lôi
in the nick of time.
em
Not only is the game back and forth, but every
cái đi nó
single
lên ba
fight
nè
at this
nha
point
cái đi nó lỏ
is just tit for tat, punch for punch.
And now there's only one. It's just
vừa đăng này mấy bộ bay vừa vài Innocent các bạn này tôi trong sập đầu nó mình Innocent PP nó vô vài Innocent ban là P rồi cho việc sập đầu Uni ta Uni đập mũi kia rồi sập đầu hơi si ba dùng mũi gì trên này
That's the hero that should be dying the most. You know,
Rồi,
that's the
tay
ones like, oh, we
nhìn
just sacrificed the
pressure
build in the early game.
For sure. I mean,
Not Cram though.
not Cram.
Not me.
He's built
No way.
Uni khăn như Sky nơi Sky là on là đấy Sky à
13 is insane.
Sky
We're
on
at
là
29.
cái chụp lại lên
Onic
này
finally with a grip
On vậy.
on this game.
vì on bây giờ mẹ tung on đây vì on tăng
Game mode.
vì on tăng lực chơi muốn rồi
Lord spawns on
On
boss
tăng-
side,
on
long
tăng là
lane.
P âm rồi bé nào.
Hard for Onic.
vậy rồi hai mà tao ngộp mày
Straight up, what was that damage? Kai and Kelra.
mà cái đi luôn nó khuyên linh với
Combo, now it's up to Stormy.
Ngay á.
And Uni.
Mà đâu,
Cram
không
and
xưa thuê cái nào.
In a 4v5.
Uni
Vài
needs
Cram
to
đi.
find an angle in before Kelra shreds this down.
nó đánh lọt cái đi
Kyrie
rồi
as well.
They got no red
lọt
shirt.
lọt
They gotta play it slow. Kelra jumps into the BMI over on Cram. Now
Cái đi là toàn miền
Stormy
tri này.
as Cram tries to run away.
Ê, toàn miền
BMI
tri.
back again from Kelra as the Pete tries
Chơi
to
cái
stop
tri
Uni
vào lấy.
from getting into this Lord pit.
In the
vậy
backside.
khen hold on xem vậy mình nữa xem nè nâng lại nữa
Over on
nè
Six, now with the follow-up.
này
Kelra.
nâng không bảy lại em mini lơ
Top is good for SRG.
Và ôn đấy kìa, ôn đấy vô. Lúc đi clear lên Uni mau rồi tại cái chính mép cái váy này cái váy lại lót váy mình nữa mà hãy đi ôi khe ra America America chơi đi chơi mà pin này xả hai bật rồi cái đi khe ra nè no không phải cái đi anh khe ra ơi khe đủ ô
We're 22.5 minutes in. It's Stormy and Innocent defending the base.
No, tụi mình chua.
Onic is already at the inhibitors.
sao vậy bả vậy early à lịch tao khe lại cái lịch bay khe với mình đã tôi nghĩ rằng ô này trong ta để make time line với let game thì ta let game mà pi đúng che thơ mà đương này early à kỹ bối cái léo treo vinh Lúc phó mid ban hết. Là Dũng thơm hưởng. Ở hiền nữ. Alupi. Mid nó đợt đá cho mid nữa. Vô phóng nữa nè. Cái đi ô lựa. Nè mình chơi viên này chơi đi nè. Chơi check viên tới counter Uni nó mặt cho rồi. Trên cọ bắt đây nọ, khe ra đồ cọ với như nọ. Với trăm lại 500 alti ở chỗ tại alti check cọ. Mới khe ra. Bảy play ấy. Chơi trong end man. Này lô tới nè, bang check cọ. Nó về check cọ mà. Ngọc đây. Khe ra bay tè. Trời ơi, lên đập khe không để chính tiết là ôn đấy kìa. Trời. Lên đập khe vì đi thơ mình em rửa khe ra cây đi. Khe ra vừa cây đi thơ mình em rửa. Trời lên đập khe này bọn này. Cây đi khe ra khe đi nó ngậy khe đi nó ngậy. Phải làm trong vô mà. Dễ mình lên đập khe không phải tránh nha. Bọn khám mua cho mà cây đi hả, khe ra phận phám á, mấy nhá phận phám hả? Early bạn lên như này kìa mà. Cây đi mình bờ xíu nè. Bay nó ngộp sọt.
SRG being a little too passive, you've got a 10k gold lead. And they let it happen.
I think it's a mix as well, right? Like they were playing passive when they shouldn't. They were playing aggressive when they should be the ones playing passive. So many of these skirmishes were a bit too unnecessary with the 10,000 gold lead, having the macro advantage on the map as well. Here as well, right? I mean, the dive over under tier 2, it made for
mà cái đi chán đó là như bây giờ ai chua nè bây giờ tôi trong vậy innocent các bạn này nó là cái đang không bằng phù hợp đá giờ tuần nè lấy đi mà chơi mà với nó này chơi đấy là khác á mà ơi chụp bạn này cho chạy vô mỏng nó trên cọ hai đang chụp Kera lô cho alti chỉ cọ bơm một tịch.
That first fight where he got the big blazing duet off up in the top lane, we knew the damage was there. Once he got his Holy Trinity and collected more items, he didn't even have to be passive about it. He could just jump into 3 or 4 of them and completely shred down Stormy. How we doing, Virgo?
Dude, I'm looking at that play again, right?
Say hello.
I know.
Say hello to the people.
I know. I just want to look at that play because
he's got to go back and let us know about it.
Dude, Kelra, I was just like, I don't know what that damage. I
No,
think
that's
exactly what it is. He's fully stacked up on both corrosion, yeah, and his art of thievery. So that's why it looked like insta burst. It wasn't
literally just looked like he blew the.
No, I think tính lộ đừng tê này mày có viên này chơi bật phi chuột gì. Mua cái đi à? Lụa sải chân chào. Lụa sải chân chào bẹ bật phi vô mà.
Because he did have an amazing start of this game, 69,000 damage dealt. But the fact that Kelra
But là assassin thôi mà cái đi lên này cái đi thế.
7,000 damage. This guy didn't touch anyone for like the first 6 minutes of the game.
Assassin tôi lên này cái đi.
001 I think for the first 6 minutes of the game, and then he was able to get 2 kills on Stormy.
Tại mình trong giáp á, mày nhá.
Stormy and Yums, a double up top, right?
Trong giáp á mày.
You get to see the highlights again, and that's where you're going to see the stacks that he was able to hold on to before that blazing duet.
Mà áo tí chư mà, nó đỏng nó chư mà.
I love the smiles. They're ready at this point, you know. And we saw some reactions as well from the side of SRG during the game. Uni felt comfortable, but you never get too comfortable. I think SRG got too comfortable in that game.
Mấy cái máu bị ná khá là lại lo rồi chứ.
SRG here.
Cái coi hô vua nè.
All of them have been playing a good game.
Phận phá mà nè, pin nó phận phá mà hả?
Finish this a little bit earlier.
Cái đi cái ra phận phá mà nè. Nè lại lo rồi.
Who would have thought?
Mới bị hô đó. Hay minion pen năng minion pressure được, chứ mới thưa mày.
Another crazy layer to the meta right now. Something
minion
that
pressure
at
được
first you see it, you doubt it, and SRG is making it work very well right now. But they are having some trouble closing this out. They're finding great positions. Always in a side bush. Cram always looking for an angle as well. Onic has to watch out for it.
SRG are going to go for the commitment here. They see the Ling. It's insta commit. No way for
Onic to respond to this. Cái lo rồi. Nhưng mà với tôi này mà cram trăm cạ bia. Này lại lại muốn thiệt. Nè cram trăm cạ bia thôi. Cái đi mà lọc lại bang, lọc lại bang.
Over and over again. It's Crab in the back waiting
for
position.
Lót tiền. Nè lại lo nè.
Together with the combo. Now it's up to
Lại nắng ấy.
and Uni.
Lại nó vô bài Innocent mùi bên nó cái đi comment bay hai rất ngon nè. Ngon Innocent nè.
Kelra shreds this down. Kyrie as well. They got no red shrink. They gotta play it slow. Kelra jumps with the BMI over on Cramp. Now it's Lutpi zoning in the back line as Cramp tries to run away.
Thôi ta cái đi bên nó biết được tí này kìa.
From getting into this Lord pit.
Tức là reset phone, tức là reset lot phone. Uni chăm cho mà tri đó một nè ngọc. Ngon và vô mùi nó có chỗ ngon mùi. Con này khay lỗ là lại lót khay lỗ. Nè, nhìn nè. Nè lại nè. Đó là Kara với tên viên là này chơi thằng cá chúng màu vậy. Nè. Bừng chơi. Nè, với tên nhằng à. Bên nó với phở ấy nữa. Tôi phở ấy không, tôi phở ấy không. Đi so đi so ấy không. Mới so thằng ổng. Tinh chuột tinh viên là này chơi tinh cọ tinh năng một đô tinh năng một. Nè lúc đi tục đi hả. Tập đi nè bởi đi. Ngon rồi. Không biết quay lại nữa. Không biết lên. Nè. Để lấy nó mới kèng. Nè không biết quay Stormy lại nữa. Không biết kèng. Lấy nữa. Nè. Cái viên này chơi lại nữa. Ano. Trời ơi. Không bay lại nữa. Cây đi Kara đi. Bước đông thì mấy tham line cho bạn nó ra lên kìa làm việc này.
22.5 minutes in, it's Stormy and Innocent defending the base. A Lord will be coming soon, but Onic is already at the inhibitors. Look at the death timer, 16 seconds on Yums.
Game chắc không bể cho tập Kelly rồi.
They're gonna have all tier 2 up top, gonna fall down as well as Kai deals
with
this is a big order. Tier 2 up top, gonna fall down as well as Kai deals with waves, but now it's gonna evolve forward into the bottom lane.
Cho nên mơ ra lại nó trong là lý cho boss máu cho đó ulti trực cọ. Giờ tới này chúng ta lôi tới phá chứ.
Burn angle in, they're able to make their way forward.
Nó có đấy. Tới rồi, pang. Nó Rotana này ở Rotana. Game chứ.
Well, that's a good question, Chris.
The French.
That's a very good question. So first of all, getting here was already trouble. One of my flights here, I had to fly in twice, by the way. One of my flights here, they give me a ticket 30 minutes before the flight, and my house is 1 hour away. So I had to break a lot of traffic laws just to be able to make it to the airport so that I can check it in time and then we can actually go in. And then when I finally arrive, right, to the airport, hundreds of people from the plane, they pulled me to the side. When I say they, I mean the police. The police pulled me to the side. And then it's like, okay, I brought all of my documents, showed them, and it's like, so what's going to happen? They're like, oh, we're just going to search you. And I'm like, oh, do you do this all the time? And then he was like, oh, no, this is...
See you. Watch party in the MPLK Arena. Bye-bye.
Presses a few buttons. And after 1 minute and a half, it's like,